Hello everybody, my name is Cody and welcome back to Heroes Z through A, and today we are talking about Zarya, who is a supportive tank in my opinion, and I hope to give you guys some tips so you can play her a little bit better. So let's get started with her abilities. Uh, Zarya has two abilities and they both revolve around the same thing, and it's about powering up her gun. Her gun, when you shield somebody or you shield yourself and you take damage, gets stronger. It goes up to 100. The higher the energy, the more damage you're doing. So her primary fire is a straight line shot. Its hit scan is actually incredibly better now since they buffed it in the last patch, where she can keep that beam on you and just melt through you. Or her alternate fire shoots a glob of energy and pretty much acts as a big grenade, and it actually really does a lot of damage when you can hit somebody direct on. The way you want to play Zarya is you want to have well, the reason I call her a supportive tank is because you want to have another tank by your side at all times. It works well with a Diva or a Reinhardt or a Roadhog, someone who's up there in the front line taking a lot of damage, but also dealing a lot of damage, so they keep drawing the fire to them. So pretty much a great idea I have many a times is, hey, if we're running a Zarya, one of us should go Diva, because Diva's up there taking a lot of damage, and when she doesn't have defense matrix, you put a bubble on her and you start charging your cannon. Or if I'm playing a frontline tank as Zarya, I go in and I put the bubble up right as I'm taking massive amounts of damage. My beam gets powered up, and I just start laying waste to the team. Um, Zarya, in my opinion, is the ultimate combo character. She works incredibly well with a bunch of characters. As I said, she works well with tanks, but she also works well with certain DPSs. Her ultimate, Graviton Surge, is this little ball that you shoot, and it can pull everybody in and make it easy for, let's say you have Hanzo on your team, he can shoot out his dragons, and they can't block it because they're all put together. Even Reinhardt's shield can't block that. Uh, she also works well with Diva in the fact that she can group everybody together so no one can run away from her Diva bomb. And she's an incredibly fun character, and it does take a long time for you to master her. But it's once you do, it's incredibly fun to do. Some other tips I would give for Zarya would be you actually can use her secondary fire, the glob, to bounce yourself upwards, and there are some pretty incredible spots you can get into as Zarya, because you can use that to jump up into places people wouldn't be expecting you. You can drop down behind them and just shoot into them, and it's a lot of fun. Um, I would recommend playing Zarya if you're playing with somebody. Definitely don't go into a solo queue game together and think that you are going to have teammates that know when to go in when they have a bubble. Uh, some people can if they're really high skilled, but most of the time you'll find yourself putting bubbles on people and it'll just walk out and nothing will happen. You also need to know when to time your bubbles precisely, because a lot of people know not to shoot Zarya bubbles. If you saw the first competitive Overwatch episode I did, you'll find out that sometimes people don't, because Justin got really mad when someone kept powering up the Zarya, as he yelled so famously. Uh, but when she does get powered up, she gets incredibly strong, and she just starts laying waste to your team. So she's really effective at that now, especially with the buff to her hit scan with the one fire. And Zarya is definitely a force to be reckoned with. A lot of people thought she wasn't going to get played as often because she did get a slight nerf to how much. So pretty much, Reinhardt's Fire Strike and Genji's Swift Strike technically would hit the bubble twice and pretty much give her double power. But they nerfed that, so now it only hits it once. But it was a slight nerf slice buff in the fact that it actually makes the shield last longer, because I believe the shield can take up to 200 damage, but after that you drop it, and if it takes the full 200, you usually get about 40 to 50 charge, and so you have two bubbles up at the same time. If both of them take damage, you get about 80 charge, which is a bunch. So you really do start to learn to know when to put bubbles on people. Zarya is really good at countering divas because your primary fire can shoot through her defense matrix, and you can bubble either your healer, if say they're caught next to a diva ult and they're not going to be able to run away in time, you can bubble them. You'll get a ton of charge from that, as well as save their life, and that's very beneficial. I've seen incredible Zarya plays where a diva ult lands next to a Zenyatta. Zenyatta cannot get away. The Zarya turns, bubbles herself, bubbles the Zenyatta. Diva's ult's neutralized. You do have to be careful when playing against a diva, though, because if you shoot your ult out and her defense matrix is up, it does eat it. And when I do a diva video, I'll definitely talk about all the ults that you can eat as a diva and how incredibly nice it is to do that when you are playing diva, and how frustrating it is when you're playing against a diva and she does that. And so Zarya is one of the best tanks in the game, I feel, in my current opinion. Technically, the only bad tank currently right now is Winston, who I'll do a video on next. Zarya just works well with every team comp. There's not a team comp she doesn't work well in, except unless you're doing a dive comp. But obviously, you would just run a diva, a Rhine there. So let's talk about her achievements. She has Power Overwhelming, which is you got to keep the Zarya particle cannon above 70 power for 60 seconds. This is when being a really good Zarya player comes into play, because it took me a very long time to get this achievement myself. It's really about utilizing. You should never try not to waste her bubbles. You never want to just put it on just because you think you're going to take damage. You need to know when you are taking damage when you put this up. So I ended up getting it just because I knew to keep putting a bubble for myself, because they had a diva who would just free fire on me and not stop, and I also put it on a couple of DPSs who were running forward and they would take damage, and so I did stay above 70 for a very long time. Her second achievement / trophy is the Power of Attraction, and she'll actually say this when she does a graviton sometimes. So for this, you just want to capture at least 5 enemies in a single graviton surge, and this is pretty easy if you can just get the enemy team clumped together. A lot of times people just aren't even thinking like, oh hey, they have Zarya, we should not be clumped together. They stick together because it's nature in this game to want to stay with your team. And so those are her 2 achievements. The Power of Attraction is definitely a lot easier to get. Power Overwhelming, it definitely takes some time, but when you do get it, it's very rewarding, I feel. I hoped this video helped you guys get a better understanding of Zarya. I understand she is kind of a hard tank to learn, but once you do learn her and pick her up, she definitely becomes a very vital asset to your team if you like to play her. Hugh on Talking Games loves Zarya, loves the player, so he's going to be a little bit mad that I had to steal Zarya away from him to film this video because we were playing together when I filmed it. But in the end, it's definitely worth it. Zarya is an incredibly fun character to play. Next video, as I said, is about Winston, and that one's going to be a lot of fun because I love Winston, even though he's a little underpowered right now. I hope you guys have a great day. Hope you got happy holidays, and I hope we're going to ring in the new year with lots of Overwatch videos. If you would like to talk to me, reach out to me on Twitter at ComicBookCody. Add me on PSN at Captain Red Hood. I'd love to play with you guys. You may even see yourself in one of these videos, as Hugh did today. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Remember to like and subscribe to Talking Games channel that this is on. And have a great day, guys. I'll talk to you guys later.